of pot comedy, and she's actually hosted the longest-standing pot comedy room in North America. Did you know they had those? No. Are you picturing them full of smoke and beanbag chairs and stuff? That's her hosting those. Without further ado, my friend Jillian Thomas, everybody.
One guy walked up on stage and gave me his number because I was like, nobody loves a big girl. And he's like, I do. That was a pretty good moment. It was a fake number.
Where are my people? Oh, thank God there's some of you in the audience, because I got stoned and I would feel so sad if there was no one else who could relate to me. My mother is so proud, let me tell you that. She is so proud that I am the queen of pot comedy. And just to clarify for you guys, I do smoke for medicinal purposes, because when other kids at 13 got braces, I got arthritis. Yeah! And it's pretty cool, though, because I got to make a lot of new friends in arthritic aquasize. Nana Mo and Grandma Green, we would laugh and float and laugh. And then they got put in advanced. That's a true story. It might not be funny, but it was a sad day for Jillian. My mom, growing up, she was a nurse, and so she really believes in marijuana for cancer patients, for HIV patients. She does not believe in it for her daughter with arthritis. And I was like, Mom, even arthritis is telling me to smoke up, because why else would their slogan be arthritis, joints in motion? Yeah! Yeah. So if I do look here, it's not because I can't remember, guys. It's because I'm a pothead. And this year for my birthday, my mom called. I was just last month. My mom called me. And, of course, I live on the corner of Church and Gay. You know, I am on the corner of Church and Wellesley. And I'm smoking a joint waiting for the Wellesley bus. I don't want to brag. And my mother calls, and she's like, happy birthday. You know, I was going to buy you the autobiography of Paul McCartney that just came out, because he says that when he smoked marijuana, at the height of his marijuana smoking, that's when his depression was the worst, and that's when his creativity was the worst. And those were the years that he was in Wings, Jillian. Wings. Which, if you knew my mother's actually a McCartney from Liverpool as well, so the voice actually came out like Paul McCartney's when you're stoned, so it felt like Paul McCartney was yelling at me about not smoking weed. And then I got to the show and I was like, did I just have a conversation with Paul McCartney? Yes, I did. And it was good. This is why I don't get out that much anymore. My mom bought me a Nintendo Wii for my birthday. Yeah, with the Wii Fit. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Mom. But it's pretty good, because it's the first gym I don't get kicked out of for lighting a joint. It's like... But this is how, when comics always say, oh, this happened to me the other day, you'll know that this is a true story, because it happened. Toronto had an earthquake this year. Ooh. Yeah, remember that? I felt more movement from the Gay Pride Parade. I'm just saying, the ground has shook more from that party than the earthquake. But there's this program on the Wii Fit, and you can just dance like this, and you burn off calories. So I put on my disco, I live in the gayborhood, and I bounce around. And I bounce out on my rooftop patio, and the earthquake happens, and these two guys come running out of the building next to me, and they scream, earthquake! And for a minute, it was like kindergarten all over again. And so my reaction was, you've never seen a big girl dance before? And then they both screamed, no, real earthquake! Oops. My parents are pitiful at buying gifts for me. They really think they're amazing, but this is what they gave me for Christmas. It's a book called The Single Life, a gift of memories. You're supposed to write in it all the things you love about being single. So I got hammered, I wrote in it, and now I'm gonna mail it back to them. So under what I like best about being single, I wrote fucking strangers. And then it was like, favorite new hobby since you're single. Fucking strangers. And then at the back of the book, it was like, best places to pick up boys. I crossed out boys and wrote girls. Deal with that, Mom and Dad. It's a true story. My parents did give it to me for Christmas, but it happened many years ago. I like to talk about it because 3 things have changed since I got that book. Number 1 is that my parents are now divorced. Guess what they're both getting for Christmas this year? Second of all, I have been 3 years sober. Yeah. The person yelling, he knows me, that's why. He was like, oh, it's about time. And I'd like to say I gave it up because I needed to, but really what happened was I gave myself alcohol poisoning at the opening night of Dirty Dancing, the musical. Did you guys know that that show is not interactive? Nobody puts baby in a corner. And then you heard the actor say it. It was awkward. The third thing that's changed for me since I got that book is I've been diagnosed with a lot of food allergies. And I have celiac disease, so I'm allergic to wheat and gluten. I'm lactose intolerant, and I'm allergic to fruit. Which means basically all I can eat is cock. And rice milk, so it's pretty good. And so I think that rice milk tastes awful. I'm sorry, I'd rather suck a cock. I'm just saying, it's so much tastier than rice milk. All right, before I go, I'd like to leave you with this. The following is a list of celebrities that I would most like to hate fuck. Number 1 would be Christopher Plummer, because I have daddy issues, and I like whistles. Yeah. Captive on Trap Lovers in the house, yeah. Number 2, of course, would be Justin Trudeau, because when we were done, I'd be like, man, you really don't live up to your father. Or your mother. Ooh. And last but not least, of course, it would be George Stroumboulopoulos. Because first of all, he's Greek. I know they like him big. But second of all, I'd be like, man, when he's lost in a moment of pleasure, I'd be like, what do you really think about the situation in Darfur? It's not so easy without a teleprompter and writers, is it, George? Nobody looks hip and edgy when they come. Nobody. There's enough Canadian content in that joke for me to get a grant and pursue it. But of course, then I'd have to add Peter MacKay, because I'd like to hate fuck the conservative right out of him. Yeah! You guys have been a great night. Enjoy the rest of Bruce Valanche and the rest of the